Hey friends, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Welcome to my live, and if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Chalk Couture. So once you hop on tonight's live or you hop on the replay at a later date, please feel free to say hi in the comments and to let me know where you are watching from. I am live tonight in 2 locations, so if you hear me refer to a comment that is not in your feed, that person is probably watching from a different platform. And as always, if you like what you see during this project and think others should see it, or you just want to help out my channel, please feel free to spread the craft love all over your social media platforms. Hit that heart button, hit that thumbs up button, tag your crafty friends, invite them to watch along with you. Not only does that help my channel get seen by new people, but it also helps you by telling the algorithm that you like this kind of content. Therefore, it will push more content like this into your feed. So we're helping each other. So I appreciate that. And with that, I see that Jason is watching from the other side of the door, and he says, happy hump day. I got a bit of a tickle. So as I am live, or as you're watching the replay, don't forget to check the promos that are scrolling on this side of the screen. There are a couple of new promos that dropped this week. If you have been thinking about joining Perks, this is yet another sign that it is a perfect time to join the Perks program, as it is only $10, I believe, through the 12th. Again, you pay your $10. It's $10 this month, and then it goes to the regular $20 a month. Think of it as your Crafty Costco membership. You do pay your $20 fee, but you, as soon as your payment is processed, you get a $20 product credit back automatically. So that's free, if crafty math. And you can use that on any product, Chalk Couture product, within 30 days. You also can shop at any time at 30% off, and you have exclusive access to promos and deals through Chalk Couture. For instance, last month, Chalk Couture just surprised all Perks members and designers with an extra $15 in design dollars. So Perks members got to spend $35 in free product credit last month for just their $20 fee. So you can also get your Chalk Couture subscription at 30% off. So it is a win-win, especially with the holiday season coming up. If you have any creative or crafting people in your life, it would be a great way to purchase some products to make a cute little crafty bundle, and you can spend, you can save 30%. Miss Bonita is sitting in her bedroom watching while she's folding clothes. She's multitasking. Good for you, Miss Bonita. And then check out the Halloween specials. There are lots of Halloween transfers, past and present, that are up to 85% off. So there, I know there's like this family is kind of baddie. It's something about baddie, but Perks members can get that for like $1.87, and then you can get the coordinating shapes for like $3. So for less than $5, you can get a B-size transfer and the coordinating chalkable shapes pretty darn cheap. And if you use your product credit, you're getting it for free before shipping and taxes, of course. And then if you've ever thought about building your own little crafty business, you want to make a little bit of extra income, there is a promotion that you can sign up as a designer for $10 this month. If you want more information about that, I do have a link in the description of the video, or you can ask any questions in the comments and I will get back to you. But with that, oh, one more thing. Chalk Spot, all of the Chalk Spot surfaces are buy two, get one free. So like these 5x7 rectangles, you get a 2-pack. So if you buy, and I think it's mix and match. So if you buy two items from the Chalk Spot, you're going to get one for free. So there's also the 2-pack of the 5x5 squares. There is a 2-pack of the 5x7 tags. We also have a 9x12 tag and a 9-inch circle. So that is a heck of a deal. These are all less than $5 normally. And if you're a Perks member, you get them at 30% off. If you're a designer, you get them at 40% off. So that's a great way to build some crafty bundles for Christmas. So be ordering your Chalk Spot surfaces, buy two, get one free. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and flip the camera. So tonight's video project, I was going to do something completely Chalk Couture related, which this might have a twist at the end, but I really just need to get some projects done. So I decided to pivot a little bit, in the words of Ross from Friends. We're going to pivot a little bit. So I've made some of these already. I have some evergreen designs down at my booth in Flipping Fabulous. So what these are cute little 3x4 little index card, half index card notebooks. So I've taken a 4x6 index card and I've cut them in half. These are ruled. You could use blank. I get I buy the graph ruled from Quill. They're the Staples brand. And so I just cut these in half. And so there's like a little flip out. I have these are little pockets. So we're going to kind of build these together. And then we might, yeah. So we're going to build these. So I'm going to show you, I've kind of started these already because I had some Doodlebug paper in my stash. And so then I got these little doodle pops that go with the Doodlebug paper. So I have a bear, a squirrel, and a raccoon. So they're going to go on the front. I have some tabs. And so my base is just this part of the, sorry, I'm not probably going to make any bit of sense. So if I don't make sense, I have the original tutorial that I followed linked in the description of the video. Carolina's Crafts did the original. She is the tutorial that I followed. So if I don't make a lick of sense this evening, go watch her tutorial because she does a better job than I do. So you can use medium weight chipboard. You can use cardstock. I happened to cut up a pretty thick Oreo box from Sam's. Waste not, want not. For books like this, I don't mind using an Oreo box. So that's what all this is. I also made a 4x6 one. You could use, I just happened to finish kind of like a legal, full-size legal pad at work. So I chopped up the chipboard backing from the legal pad. So you can use anything. So these are, because my index cards are 3x4, my covers are, I believe, 3 1/8. Well, these look like they're 3 1/4. Oh, I just lost my ruler. I lost everything. These are, you can make them either 3 1/8 or 3 1/4 by 4 1/8 or 4 1/4. These happen to be 4 1/4. These are 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So these will be a little bit smaller, but that's quite all right. Okay, so these, since they're 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, I need to cut some paper that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. I want it about an inch longer. Oh no, I'm not making a whole lot of sense this evening. This is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but okay, since it's 3 1/8 wide, I'm going to add another inch-ish. You could add up to a 1/2 inch or an inch, or you can go even 1.5 inches, but let's do, we'll just do 4 1/4. And so since my length is 4, I'm going to go 5 1/4. So I'll need 2 of those. So that's actually 4 1/4, 5 1/4. Okay. Feel free to ask questions if I don't make a bit of sense. I'm going to pop that out because I might need that. So, decide. I'm just going to use. Jason says I'm doing math and public speaking at the same time. It's like my worst high school nightmare. This has actually forced me to do a little bit more of math than normal, so I don't mind. It doesn't really matter which way your cardboard goes. I think I'm going to put the craft part forward. I'm trying to think if I'm not going to use that glue for that. It'll be a bit tedious. So this is the Precision Craft Barely Art Glue. It's one of my favorites for paper crafting, but you can also use like Beacon Fabric Tack. This one happens to be the 3-in-1. Because it comes out a little faster, I think I might use it for the cover. Maybe. Oh. It's kind of all globbed on. So it's a little harder to get out. I normally like to use score double-sided adhesive on my covers, but this will work. Maybe. Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of center it in my paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to come along with my bone folder and kind of burnish all of that glue and squish it around. And we'll do that to the next one. I'm putting the plain cardboard to the front. That way if my decorations don't happen to cover all of the cover, the Oreo cookie box won't show through the front. These make cute little notebooks. Like if you need to just write a list, you could write them. You could make it like your little gratitude book, especially if you used some really cute fall paper. But I'm going to show you how to give it kind of a Chalk Couture twist after a bit. I'm just going to show you how to do the covers. Let's use this one instead. I just want to squish out some of that glue. Okay. So then I'm going to score around. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm going to score around, oops, the edge of my paper, just to make it a little easier to fold. So you can kind of see how I've scored it a little bit. And then because we're going to be bending the overlap over, I need to reduce a little bit of the bulk at the corner. So you don't want to cut to the corner. You want to leave like an 1/8 or a 1/16 of an inch. But you're just going to miter the corners. You just want to leave a little bit at the corner. I might not be leaving enough. If you don't leave enough, then the corner of your chipboard is going to show through. But you could always save the corners and kind of glue them down like that if you need to. I don't know why. It's got some static cling. Okay, so then I'm just going to take my little cover and I'm just going to use the top of my table to kind of help me bend those flaps over and get them ready to bend all the way over. Keeps your paper from cracking, hopefully. Okay, so then I think I'm going to bring out this glue. And then I put a little bit of glue where my paper is going to meet my chipboard, kind of in that gap. And then I'm just going to bend my paper over and kind of burnish it down. And this glue dries clear, so if it oozes out at all, we should be okay. Get it good and burnished down. And then I'm going to do the opposite side. So we'll get a little bit of glue in that crease. But I am an overgluer, so I've always got it oozing out. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring our paper over and we're going to add pressure and burnish it down. Okay, and where we have these little corners, We're going to tuck in those edges kind of like we're wrapping a gift. So if you have any excess, you're going to kind of smash it down and tuck it in. I don't know if you can see that. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Maybe. This one doesn't want to tuck very easily. Okay, we'll fiddle with it. So we're going to do the same thing. Put a little bit of glue in that crease. It does help to have a little bit more of an overlap, but and if you don't get those corners tucked very well, you can just kind of flatten them down with your bone folder. Okay, last one, at least for that one. Okay, so let's turn that down. Okay. Ugh. So we're going to burnish that down. Again, if you didn't get the corners, kind of rub them down. Okay, so then we're going to need to cut. So I'm going to do like a 3x4 piece to do the inside, and I know I still need to do that. So let's cut a couple of our inside pieces real quick. Oops. Okay, so these three. I need these four. So I'm going to cut both of them at the same time. Okay. And you could do decorative paper. You could use plain cardstock. It does not matter. I didn't need those. I'm going to throw those out. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here really quick. Again, if your glue dries clear, you don't have to worry too much about it oozing out. The fox is cute. The raccoon is really cute. Of course, so is the bear. Oops, lost all my tabs. So the paper I got from Doodlebug. I bought a pack that is called the All Occasion Pack, and I bought another pack that was called Seasons, and so they'll give you like 2 to 3 papers from certain paper lines. So I thought it was perfect for these little journals, but so then I went on and bought some of the doodle pops that match this one because I don't know if it says. It matches the pumpkin spice, which is what some of this paper is from. Oops, I need to tuck my corners. Oops. See, I didn't trim my corner very well, so you can see some of my paper. So you can see some of my orange paper through the corner. Oh well. Womp womp. Okay, we'll let that one dry and we'll move on to this one. So this paper is just going to come on here and it's just going to clean up the inside of our journal. So just kind of want to line it up. Just so it's mostly even on all sides. I didn't glue that one very well. I like to get like clear up to the edge. That's also why I'm an overgluer. Okay, so that one's done. Making a mess. I'm making it worse. Let's just use this glue. Sorry for all the scratching. So I'm just going to burnish that down. It's not my best one. You can see I've got another corner that's kind of peeking out, but it's okay. Oops. Okay, so that's how you make the covers. And then where we want to go next. I have a mess. So let's talk inside of the papers. The inside papers. So we've got my cover. And then I just have some decorative paper. This one is cut 3x4. And then this one is cut, must be 4x6. This is a 4x6. So if I get my paper pack out that I dumped on the floor. So I think I have a couple that are already cut. that we can use. Got those two. And then I've got a couple of these that I already have cut. Need that. So let's get this brown. I've got a piece of brown paper that we can use. I think that'll, actually I have an orange piece. It'll be kind of boring, but I thought I had, oh, it's right here. Let's use the orange since our cover will be brown. It's kind of the craft color. So, I think, oh, that's not the right size. That is. So did I have another one in there? I think I can use, I'll use that piece. Okay, I think I can use these without having to cut into that after all. Sorry, my brain's not working. What else is new? Okay, so let's put, so we need 3 pieces that are 4x6, and you don't have to make pockets out of them. I just think it's fun to make pockets out of them. So they need to be 4x6. I don't think that one's 4. Oh, yep, just 4. So I've got one. This one needs to be 4. Okay. And then, okay. So then these need to be scored at 3, which I need to flip this over. Do what? Wait. No, it needs to go that way. Maybe. There. Is that right? Yeah. And then I'm going to score it at 3. And you need, yeah. Oh, shoot, I pressed too hard. That one I kind of cut through. Wah, wah, you don't want to do that. So I'm going to have to get another piece. And so then we'll just fold those in half. So we'll go ahead and cut into that orange one after all. I need to flip that back over. So we're going to cut this at 4. And cut this at 6. And I'm just going to leave it there and score it at 3, but I'm going to be gentle with it this time. Okay. Have I lost anybody yet? So then we'll just fold those in half. And if you'll notice on mine, I have a little notch on them. I use a little envelope notcher, which, do I have my envelope punch board down here? I don't know if I do or not. Okay, so we have our 3 pockets. And then we have our 2 little decorative pieces. So In this one, I also have a little flip out. So I believe this one is 5 by 4, and you score it at 3. So let's see if we have a different piece of paper. Jason says still here. I don't know. I kind of feel really lost right now. Let's see what other paper I have in here. I can add the green paper in. What's this one? That one's 4 by 4. So that one won't work. See what other paper I have in here. Could add the green in. So let's do a green one that's 5 by 4. Okay, so what's this one? Just trying to figure out the best way to cut it. I think we'll cut it 4 this way because it's this one happens to be non-directional. We'll cut that one at 5. And we'll score it at 3. Okay. Benita says she's still here too. So then we need to cut some, and I'm not going to cut all of them, but you just want to take your, I have about, I think I have 40 half pieces of index card per notebook. I either have 40 or 50, but I think I have 40. So you basically just need 20 note cards. There's 10. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Target. You can get them at Dollar General. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to cut these at, is that right, 3? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do, you can leave the 4 by 6s as 4 by 6 and make them larger. You could do 4 by 4. You could even do 5 by 8. Okay, so here's my pockets. And decorative, and then I've got and then so usually I'll just, oops, that's not right. Put 2 together here. Okay, so then I'll put those there. And then I'll just slide this one in like before another one, or you can put it halfway between one. And then I still need to find see if I have my, let me go run and walk over here and see if I have my envelope punch board so we can put those notches in. If you hear a loud thunk, I just tripped over something. Oh, craft space is a mess. I was hoping to get it cleaned this weekend, and I did nothing. I did not do that. Okay, so I showed you earlier that I put these little notches in right there. So I'm using my envelope punch board for that. So this end makes the little notch. This end will round your corners. And so this is, so I want it in the middle, and this is 3. So I put it at, I think it's 1.5, but I'm going to make sure. Yep. At 1.5. And I want my open edge to the left because that's where I'm going to bind it with my tool here in a little bit. So you're just going to put it on 1.5 since that's the middle of 3. And it makes the little notch. So we're going to do that on all of those. Sorry, that's probably really loud. Hopefully I don't break my glass mat. Oops. Is that the last one? Yep. Okay, so we have all those notched. The last thing, well, one of the last things, is I have tags that I have made. They're not all the same size because I used some scraps, but they're not all the same height, but they are 2.5, and they're roughly like 3. That one's 3 3/4. That one is 4. And then I used some scrap index cards, and I cut little journaling spots out for the back side. So I've got, I don't know which ones go with which, but so those need to be roughly 2.5 by 4. And I can use the paper that I scored through. I can use that. My pockets, see if I have some. I'd like to do, you can do whatever colors you want. Let's pull this piece out. And I just need 3. So we'll use that piece. I have the biggest mess all over. Okay, so 2.5 by 4. So let's cut this one at 2.5, and I think it's already 4. Yep. So then we have 2.5 by 4. And then that's what the back side of that one looks like. It's super cute. So we'll do 2.5, and it's probably already 4. Okay. And then, oh gosh, everything's falling. We can use the same envelope punch board, and this side corner rounds. So you'll see that the edge of my tags are rounded. It just kind of helps them go in the pockets easier. And of course I did that one backwards, but I can fix it. Slow down and pay attention to your direction, unlike me. If you haven't already figured out, I like gadgets. So let's bring in a new gadget. To get this to shape, I use this little tag punch. So it does 1.5 inch, 2 inch, and 2.5 inch. So they just fit into these grooves here, and then it's going to punch out that tag shape. So you just pop it in there, and it makes the cute little tag shape. Or you could just leave them plain like this. They're just going to pop in. They'll just go in our pockets. They don't have to have that cute little tag shape. That's just extra. Let's put that in correctly. Okay. Now I think we are ready to assemble. Except for I also like to put on little tabs, but I can do that off camera. But I use my whale tail punch to make this little tab, but we can add those. I can add those afterwards. Okay, so let's assemble ish. Let's move that out of the way. This is a binding machine called the Cinch. So it has these little pegs that you can pull in and out, which will disengage the punches. So if they're pulled out, they're disengaged. So it's only going to punch these 6, and I can pull these out too. So, this thing. Wait, yeah, I could pull those out too. I don't necessarily need to because my paper doesn't go that direction, but these are all pushed in, and so those are gonna be my pegs that punch. So I've hacked my machine, and I added a centering ruler that matches the center right here, and it kind of helps me. It's going to be slightly awkward. The handle's in the way there. So my piece of cover is 4 inches. So I'm basically going to, I'm just going to kind of line up the marks. So there's a 2 and a 2 on each side of the 0. So I'm just going to line it up and push it all the way to the back. Make sure I'm all the way to the back, and then I'm going to depress the handle, and it punches for me. So then you just have to make sure that you're kind of just basically lined up everywhere. Is that right? Yeah. Since these are smaller, you kind of have to eyeball the center. I punched that one. And so just make sure everything is facing, like I have this margin, this red line margin. You need to make sure it's all in the same, that everything is lined up. They make a mini version of this, which it works great, but the binding system in the back has some limitations. However, the mini cinch does automatically come with centering marks. This one doesn't, but I just hacked it. Anything is hackable. Okay, so I need to make sure that my opening goes towards the back. You can make these for literally every season. You could make wedding ones. You could make, I think these would be cute little baby brag books for new mommies, expecting mommies. Let's do both of those together. You could add acetate, vellum sheets, junk. I mean, you could make junk journals out of these. Hey, Miss Ashley. We are making a mess. We are also making little 3x4 notebooks. See, these were going to go the wrong direction. I think I need. Oof, that one cut kind of cattywampus. I may not use those. I think I need to dump my scraps and stuff back there. It's not allowing me to go all the way back. I think I'm going to have to cut 5 more. Ashley says messes are good. Well, I'm in the right place then, because we're all in the right place, because I am the queen of messes. Okay, let's pop this in. And now we're on our back cover. So I'm doing it inside up because I want my binding on the left side. I'm going to make sure it's all the way in the back and I don't hold that hard. Okay, so I'm going to real quick. I think this were 5. And don't throw these away because I can use them on the back side of my tags for the back side of the journaling. So I don't want to have to get out my whole big cutting machine. This is the little cutter I use to make all my product tags. Okay. 1, 2, which I use index cards to make all of my product tags too. Because I can fit those through my printer. Okay, so now where do these go? They go right here. Okay. So to bind it, I have these long, you get these long coils, and they are 2-to-1 pitch to go with this machine. That means that there are 2, if I can get them apart. There are 2 of these prongs per inch, these little prongs. So then you just cut them. I have 6 holes, so I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to cut right there with some wire cutters, which I've already done. You can get these in all sorts of colors, finishes, black, silver, rose gold. I didn't link the ones I have. And you used to be able to get these, the small ones, one size at Hobby Lobby. So you'd have to make a smaller book, but that one got really big. So this just hooks right here and it helps you build your book. So you're going to start at the back. You're going to leave the cover off for right now. And we're just going to place our pages on. Wait, I'm missing it. Okay. So we're just going to place our pages on from back to front. Oh, this one messed up. Bummer. We'll leave it out. Actually, we'll leave this out because I'll show you. We can fix it. We'll add one in. or we'll just leave it out. We don't necessarily have to have that. Okay, so then you're going to put your front cover on, and then you're going to put your back cover on, outside pages facing each other. This was the hardest concept for me to grasp, but that's how they want you to do it, because you're going to trap the back pieces back here and then you won't see them. So that's why you want to put your back cover on last, but you want your right sides facing together. Then you're going to kind of line up your coils kind of like that. And Jason says it's amazing to me that the live captioning knows how to spell cattywampus. Probably because we all say it enough. Bonita says if there's no mess, you're doing it wrong. Amen, sister. Okay, so I think these are 1 inch, if I remember correctly. So on the cinch machine, it has these little teardrops here, and it has 3/8, half, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, 1, 1 1/8, and 1 1/4. I do believe these are 1 inch, so I need to dial it up to 1, and then I'm going to put it in this way so that the edges of my coils fit at the back of the machine, and then I'm going to use the handle to push down, and that's going to literally cinch my binding. That's why they call it a cinch machine. And you can kind of go a little bit past the 1 inch and get it just slightly tighter to make sure that those are all closed. And then you're just going to open up your book, and there you go. And so then this is all trapped in the back, and you don't see it when you open your book. So then you have the cutest little book. Let's pop this down, get it out of the way, maybe somewhere. And then we can pop our little tags in. For some reason this doesn't feel very full. So then our little tags can go in. We may need to add some more stuff. And oops, we're going to need to glue the bottoms. I forgot, but you get the gist. So I need to glue the bottoms in. And you can add little ribbons to your tags. Forgot to glue the bottoms. And then we can go back. Why do these seem so... Am I missing something? I don't think so. You can add your little tabs to your pocket pages. So these just fold in half, and then you'll glue them to your divider pages. And I actually have a little template here for how I add my tabs. So that's how that works. And then these are just stickers, so we'll stick those on at some point. Let me show you, if you did what I did and you punched this wrong, again, save this because we can use it for a tag or something. I was going to ask you the same thing. She's asking if I happen to find out if Flipping Fabulous is allowing vendors in front of the store for wine walk. I will ask. I'll ask something on the vendor page, or go in and talk to Carrie tomorrow and see. But yeah, I would love to, because I have a ton of paper projects that I've been doing that I've been saving. Okay, let's pull out some green paper again. And that one was 4 by 5. Let me show you. happen to boo-boo like I did, and maybe you didn't figure out until after you had bound your book that this messed up, and you pull it out, I'm going to show you how you can put it back in without undoing the binding. So that one was 5 by 4, right? And then we have to score it at, oops, 2 or 3, it doesn't really matter. Let's do the stripes. And then bring in our binding machine again. So actually, I'll let you know what I find out. I would imagine, I think we can set up there anytime. We don't even have to wait for a special event. I don't think. I don't know. So we're going to bind this again and make sure it's all pushed back. So that one bound perfect. Okay. So you're saying to yourself, how in the heck am I going to add this to my book if I've already bound it? Well, we'll just make this can be a removable page. So you're just going to take your binding and you're just going to split, or you're going to cut little slits. It's kind of the same concept if you've seen the disc binding or the Happy Planner, where you can remove pages and put them back in. So that just splits those, and then you literally just pop it in there. And it's usually not going to come out very well. Okay, so now, if you saw the description, my desk is a disaster. Put that over there. Put this back in my cutting thing. So, because I don't have any doodle pops for this particular notebook, I did decide to do plain craft paper because you can use, if you wanted to, you could use the little peanuts guys on the front. You could also pull any of your old mini icons. This one is the fall minis, which I thought would be super cute, like Channel the Flannel would fit perfectly on there. Or I pulled out the tiered tray. You could do it this way if you possibly could do it that way. Does it fit this way? I think it does fit this way. So you could do Leaves Are Falling, Autumn is Calling from the tiered tray transfer. You could do the little wagon. Give Thanks is a bit too big. Pumpkin Kisses and Harvest Wishes would be cute if it fits, which it does, and it takes up a little bit more room, which would be ideal. And maybe we'll do that one. But this would be perfect for, you could just get bright colors and do all of the peanuts on the front cover. You could make all of your dividers out of the craft paper and put a different Peanuts character on each of the dividers. So I don't think we're even. I'm not even going to wax. We're just going to go for it. So what color? I think we'll do orange. Let's do marmalade maybe. Or, yeah, let's do marmalade. Should we add any other colors? I know what we can do. It's not quite the right green, but okay. not quite the right green, but it'll work since we've got kind of an orange, lime green, brown thing going. Let's just do it this way. Yeah, I don't have olive green. I have, this is Gravity, which I think will work. Let me find some of my smaller ones. I think that'll work. Okay. So let's do marmalade for the pumpkin kisses. Oh, I just got it on my finger. And then let's do Gravity. I'm just going to do it on the little line and the and just because it's kind of a darker color, more darker than I would prefer. So we'll use it in the least amount possible. Real quick. Quick. Ooh. And then Harvest Wishes. And this craft paper, I believe, is just Hobby Lobby craft paper. It's got a good tooth to it. It's pretty stiff. Okay. And then you could add any kind of ribbons. You could add tulle to the cute little tags. You could make little, so cute. A few of the letters in Harvest, mainly because my bark is a little drier than normal, but that's still super cute. And then you can add little ribbons to the binding. Super fun. Let's get that dry. I love when paper crafting and Chalk Couture mash together because I love paper crafting. Should be well dry. Get that off my finger. So there's our cute little 3x4 notebook. So there's our first page, and you could do something on the inside. You could add a little sticker. You could get some little fall stickers from Hobby Lobby and add to it. You could add some of these little like sweater weather. You could add the little pumpkins on the inside. There's our first little glitter piece. And then our 10 pages. And then I still need to glue this edge. And then I'll add some little ribbon. So let's do it this way. So then those will just kind of stick out. I'll have a little tab divider here. And then we've got our next pages. There's our other little tab or tag. We've got that page. This little page. These. And then we've got our little glitter polka dots. And then you can always add something to the back. It'll be cute with little ribbons, tabs. I don't know why these are, I guess that's the way, just seems like it's missing something. Maybe not. Maybe I just need to add a little bit more paper. I need to go through my 3x4 project life cards and see if there's something else I can add to this. But you could use, you could get some blank index cards and cut them 3x4 and make your own little cut aparts with some of the mini icons and put those in your book. But you can add photos to these. You could print 3x4 photos and bind them in, and you don't have to use this kind of binding. You could just cut or punch 2 holes and use the book binding rings. Let me go get some of those. Again, if you hear a loud bang, I tripped over something. You mark my words. One of these days I'm going to trip. So you could use these little bookbinding rings. So if you punched 2 holes and then you just add the rings, you could use those. You can get these at Hobby. I think you can still get these at Hobby Lobby. If not, you can, I imagine you can get them at Walmart, Amazon. I probably have a few you could borrow. Could be. Yeah. I may not be putting as many extras in there either. You could also, like We Are Memory Keepers makes a single mushroom punch, which is like the Happy Planner. And I've made some with just the discs. So you can remove and move and remove your paper. I think that's, yeah, but you don't have to use these coils, but if you wanted to, you could certainly borrow, if you're local to me, you could borrow my cinch anytime. You can also find the cinch machines probably on Facebook Marketplace, eBay. You might be able to find them on Prime deals right now. Benita says the last set of index cards she bought were very thin. Yeah. And if you don't want to use index cards, you could just use cardstock as well. It might be just because I don't have any ribbons or anything yet in here. Or 1, 2, I might need to add a few more index cards, but you can, like if I wanted to totally add a few more things, I could carefully bend these back enough to get it apart and then rebind it, but I don't necessarily recommend that. With it being so small, I probably could. These will be cute, especially when you get some ribbons put on the binding and on the tags. But if you make some of these, I definitely want to see them. You can add little stickers or cut aparts to this little guy, because he folds in and out. But I think they're fun to make. I have 3 down at Flipping Fabulous, and I think I have 3 at Raised Rustic and Ellsworth. They're super fun. I just love to make them with all of the scrapbook paper that I have. So yeah, if you make some, I would definitely like to see them. And it'll help, it'll bulk it up, because these will get bulked up because I have an index card on the back of these. So it'll just add a little bit more bulk. Let's see how these, well, I think these are just stickers. I think they'll just stick. But I don't think I want to stick it until I bind it. Actually, yeah. Well, are they a sticker? Yeah, they're a sticker, but I think because I'm adding it to a cover, I will actually glue it on. But it's going to be so cute. So I have the bear, the raccoon, and the fox. And these Doodle Pops are sold for like every paper collection that Doodlebug has. So, okie doke. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to make any. I think this would make a super fun class. So raise your hand in the comments if you would. And not necessarily, we don't necessarily have to chalk the cover, although that is super cute. But let me know if you'd like to make one as a class, and we can certainly do that. I have enough paper that I can share with everybody. I can share it with the masses. For some reason this green one is... Okay, no, super fun. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Here's our little book. It's just so tiny. I'm going to hop off. I'll be live again, hopefully Friday and or the weekend. So be looking for that. Be checking out all the promos that have been scrolling right there. I still haven't figured that out yet. I think there is a release. It is the 7th. I think the last Tiffany Thiessen release of the year is next week on the 15th. Bonita says she would love to bring her paper and go to a class. Well, we'll have to do that. I'll probably just have it here at my house. Yeah, it'd be fun to make. I will have to get that on the calendar, because I think these would be easy enough to make. Okie doke. And you don't even have to, you don't even have to get that fancy with the cover. Like if you had plain chipboard like this that doesn't have any decoration on it whatsoever, literally you just can cover the paper or cover the chipboard, and you don't have to wrap it and do all that fun stuff. You could even cut it like this one is. Oh, good Lord, Robin. This one is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So you could just cut your paper at like 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So you're leaving an 8-inch border of chipboard. So you don't have to wrap it and do all that fancy stuff as long as your chipboard is plain. And I think this one might have been the back of the chipboard that comes on the back of your legal pad. So yeah, you wouldn't even have to do any of that fancy chipboard wrapping. Just cover your paper or cover the chipboard and leave the little border, and you're golden. Bonita says she's an old scrapbooker. She has more paper than she should. Join the club. I love scrapbook paper. Yeah, it's one of my many collections, but I'm trying to get it used so that I can justify buying more, which is why I'm doing a lot of these little projects. My tag just flew out onto my dirty transfer. Okie doke. I have a mess I need to clean up. It's probably going to take me forever. So I'm going to hop off. I will see you this weekend. I will get a class like this scheduled. And thanks for hanging out with me this evening, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.